In the silent, star-dusted expanse of Aurelian, a monastery known as the Sanctum of Light floated like a forgotten prayer. Here, the Order of the Loreth, an ancient sisterhood, devoted themselves to the celestial flamer, very voice of the universe. Among them was Sister Elara, the youngest and most gifted. Her skin held the pale hue of violets, her eyes a soft, starlit glow. To her sisters, she was a prodigy, her connection to the flame a thing of legend. Each dawn, she would stand at the edge of the void, her whispered prayers a song carried on cosmic winds. She was serene, devout, a perfect vessel of faith, until the day a human ship crashed through their sacred orbit. It was a scar of light across the nebula, a violation. Humans were forbidden in the Aurelian expanse, their presence a sacrilege. The High Mother ordered the wreckage sealed. No contact, she decreed. The human species lives in chaos and flesh. To touch them is to stain the soul. But Elara, from her spire, saw a single faint life signal pulsing in the debris. She saw a dying firefly in the cosmic dark, and in that moment, for a reason she couldn't name, she disobeyed. Moving like a ghost through the twisted metal, Elara found him, a human male, unconscious, his life fading. His uniform bore the insignia of the Federation of Solva very empire, her order viewed as godless and reckless. Her vows were clear, no contact with outsiders. But as she watched his chest struggle for breath, a whisper that felt like the celestial flame itself urged her, "Save him." She laid her hands upon him, a channel for the light she served. His heartbeat steadied, his eyes fluttered open. His first sight was her face, bathed in an ethereal glow. "Am I dead?" he murmured. "Not yet," she answered softly. "You're in the Sanctum of Light. You shouldn't be here." He managed a weak smile. Story of my life. They called him Captain Orion Hale, an explorer caught in a gravitational storm. He was placed in isolation, and Elara was assigned to monitor Emma test of her discipline, but his curiosity chipped away at her carefully constructed walls. He asked about her faith, her rituals, her belief that love was an impurity. One evening, as they looked out at the glittering void, he said, "It's beautiful, but lonely." Elara clasped her hands. Loneliness is clarity. Attachment clouds truth. He turned, his gaze intense. "You really believe that?" "I must," she replied, her voice faltering for the first time. "You sound like someone trying to convince herself," he said, and the word struck a chord she didn't know she had. That night, meditation brought no peace. The flame felt distant, her prayers dissolving into nothing. The tranquility she had known her entire life was now shaken by the memory of his voice. As days passed, Orion grew stronger. His easy laughter and endless questions were a stark contrast to the monastery's solemnity. His words were raw, human, and they stirred something ancient and buried within her. "Do your people ever love?" he asked one day. She looked away. "We love only the flame." He stepped closer. "And what if the flame speaks through people, through moments, through you. Blasphemy, she whispered, but her heart raced. He smiled faintly. Maybe, or maybe the gods are tired of being worshipped instead of lived. The truth, as it often does, found its way into the light. A novice overheard their conversations, and Alara was summoned before the council. "You have broken your vows," the High Mother declared, her voice cold as starlight. "You have allowed a human's touch to corrupt your spirit." "I saved a life," Alara countered. "Is that corruption? You let the human enter your thoughts." A pause. Then Alara whispered the truth. "He entered my heart." A gasp echoed through the crystal hall. "You speak heresy," the High Mother seethed. "Then I will bear it," Alara said, her voice finding strength. "Because I see no sin in compassion." The verdict was swift. Excommunication. Her sacred robes were stripped away. She was an outcast. When she went to say goodbye, she found Orion shackled, surrounded by guards, his retrieval craft already on its way. "Don't speak," she pleaded, tears burning her eyes. "They'll hear." He smiled sadly. "You saved me twice now. I'm not leaving you here." "You must," she insisted. "This is my world." He leaned closer, his voice breaking. "Then come with me." Her breath caught. For a single, eternal second, the universe held still. "I can't," she choked out. "The flame, double quote, the flame didn't save me," he said softly. "You did." The guards dragged him away before she could answer, leaving her shattered. That night, the monastery itself cried out. A storm of cosmic radiation, the voice of judgment, tore through the nebula. The celestial flame pulsed wildly, bathing the temple in violent, chaotic light. In her cell, Alara knelt. "Tell me what to do," she prayed. "I have obeyed you all my life, but now I feel your silence." The air shimmered, the energy flared, and for the first time she truly heard it. Not a serene hum, but a whisper, gentle as a sigh. Love is not disobedience, it is remembrance. Her eyes widened. It had been the flame all along, leading her to him. The message was clear. She rose and she ran. Alarms blared as the storm ripped through the monastery's hulls. Orion's ship was fighting to break free. She reached the docking bay just as the launch doors sealed, trapping him. Through the glass, she saw his desperate face. Slamming her hand on the override, her own energy signature unlocked the barrier. The atmosphere roared out as she sprinted across the walkway, her hands glowing, creating a shield against the vacuum. The ship's ramp descended. Orion stared, stunned. "Alara, what are you doing?" Following the truth, she shouted over the storm. He grabbed her hand, pulling her inside just as the ship tore free. Behind them, the sanctum of light, her only home, dissolved into radiant dust, sinking to the floor. Trembling tears of light streaking her face, she felt him kneel before her. "You came," he whispered, his voice thick with emotion. She looked into his eyes, so human, so alive, and, for the first time, she smiled without fear. "The flame was never silence," she said softly. I just wasn't listening. And then she leaned forward and kissed him. Months later, on the bridge of the starship Aurora, a new navigator gazed at the endless galaxies. Talara wore no robes, no symbols of her past. Yet her voice held the same power when she prayed not to distant gods, but for the life she had chosen. Orion found her there one night. "Do you miss it?" he asked gently. The silence. She turned, her smile faint and beautiful. The silence was never peace. He took her hand, their fingers intertwining as the stars stretched on before them, bright and alive. Somewhere among those stars, the celestial flame pulsed, burning brighter than ever before, as if in approval. Thank you so much for journeying with us through this story. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more tales from across the cosmos. We'll see you in the next one.